Hey guys, all things cello here. Today we're going to look at some major chords and their shapes and patterns. Composers who wrote for the cello had already figured out the chord shape 300 years ago. You find these shapes in just about every final cadence in Bach's 6 Suites for Unaccompanied Cello. You also find it in the opening chord of Haydn's Cello Concerto in C major. Action! Let's start with the C major chord, my favorite. C, E, G. From C to E is a major third, and from C to G is a perfect fifth. Now let's look at how Haydn distributes this chord over 4 strings. In Haydn's opening C major chord, it is written like this. Open C, open G, first finger E on the D string, and second finger C on the A string. Now the pattern on the fingerboard looks like this. Open C, the root note in the bass voice, open G, the perfect fifth in mid voice, first finger E on the D string, which is the major third in the mid voice, and second finger C on the A string, the root note in the soprano voice. Now let's move everything up a whole step to D major to find the bar chord shape. D major, D, F sharp, A. Spread over 4 strings. It's first finger D on the C string, the root note of the bass voice, first finger A on the G string, the perfect fifth in the mid voice, third finger F sharp on the D string, the major third in the mid voice, and fourth finger D on the A string, the root note in the soprano voice. Now shift that chord shape up and down the fingerboard. Try to figure out and play this chord progression. C major to F major to G major back to C major. Did you get it? As a beginner playing these chords, if you can keep the chord shape 1, 1, 3, 4 under your fingers, but don't quite yet know the notes in the major chord that you're playing, just focus on the root note in the C string, and then you'll just happen to play a major chord. Now, what if we moved the whole chord shape up to starting on the G string? You get the same pattern, but without the second finger, because the cellos do not have an E string. If you can find an acceptable 5-string cello, then you could have a root in the bass and the soprano voice, but standard cellos just don't have an E string. This chord shape is found in the opening arpeggio of Bach's famous Prelude No. 1 in G major for unaccompanied cello. Now let's move this G major chord up a whole step to A major to find our bar chord shape. First finger A on the G string, first finger E on the D string, and third finger C sharp on the A string. So without the E string, your pattern becomes 1, 1, 3, and nowhere for the fourth finger to go. This chord works great as a dominant 5 chord. For example, A major to D major, with A in the dominant going to D in the tonic, and C sharp with a leading tone to D in the tonic. And that is it for today's lesson. I hope you learned a lot. Go explore with your major chords and play some pop songs and whatnot. A good place to find pop songs with lyrics and chords is ultimateguitartab.com and 911tab.com. Links in the description below. See you guys.